Let's take a look at the bearish case for the market, and then we'll take a look at the bullish case for the market, shall we? So this is a weekly chart for the S&P, and I don't see how we can work a big bearish move into the markets. I can see that we can have another leg down here. I can see that, and I'll explain that, but I can't see the big bearish count the Elliott Wave International had of having, you know, a top in here, an end of world scenario. I don't see that because, you know, if I count 5 waves here of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's cool, and then wave 2 here, so then I can look at wave 3 down to this point, okay, but then wave 4 here definitely overlaps wave 1. So we can't look at it like that. So we can't even look at this as 5 waves down to the A wave here. We'd have to look at it as an ABC to the downside here, or an ABC to this point here and have a W here. And then you could have an X over here for that, right? So that would be an X wave. So then this would be the A wave coming down here. Now, you could look at this as an ABC over here for this, but it hasn't taken out the top here. So that's, in some cases, some markets, US markets, it has taken out that top here. So that makes that a little bit tricky. So we could still make this some sort of B wave over here as an ABC pattern here. And then look for a C wave down here to get this W down here. So we could look at it like that. We could also look at it being bearish as well, just looking at higher ground here, looking at this as an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave up to here for a higher move up here. And look at this as 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. So, you know, and that kind of makes it makes sense, and it doesn't. It makes sense when I look at this chart here and think to myself, well, if all of that leg is just one leg, then the other leg would have to have some meaning to it, because at the moment this meaning here is a little bit small, isn't it? So that means it's really sort of part of an expanding move down here, because when you think about it, the corrections here, this is this size, this is this size, and this is this size, so it's bigger. So the corrections here are expanding. Not necessarily that the trend is expanding. It is a little bit in the first move here, then this is expanding. This one's not expanding that much, you know, it's kind of same really. So it's not, I mean, not noticeably, you know, expanding or contracting. So the other cases for a bearish move down, if we can, I think it's worth just taking a little look around the place. First of all, I'd like to say that the reason that markets around the world are being bullish is because China's opening up, right? So from these October lows here, we've seen the DAX push up really high. We've seen the FTSE's taken out this high here. The industrials in the sector in the US is up at these old highs as well. But all the tech stocks are really down the bottom here. So it's the tech stocks that have been, you know, hammered. It's all the, you know, the rising of inflation and the less spending on frivolous things, so to speak, you know. But yeah, China's opening, and I've shown this chart, and sorry if I'm boring you to death with it again, but this is China, and these are just the top 50 stocks, and we've had that big move down, and now it's starting to recover. Now look, it could just come up for a big B wave up here and then come down, but the main takeaway here is that we could count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Even if that was the case, that's an impulse wave of 5 waves, and then we'll have an ABC back, and then we'll go up again. Or you could look at it as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and a third wave here. That works as well. We'll see how the fourth wave plays out and so on. You know, still sort of working. But the takeaway here is that this is bullish, you know, and, you know, countries that have been sort of opening up to China, like the DAX here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming up here. So it's likely to have an ABC pattern over here reasonably shortly as well. This particular pattern here is in the UK, it's in Australia. You know, they lifted really quite nicely off their lows here, where the DAX, where the US markets are still you know, still quite low here. So there are large impulse waves out there, and that's kind of why I'm thinking we're on the bullish side. It's just that the lazy S&P won't get off its fat ass and make a move, you know. So all I can do here in terms of the bullish move is to say, well, if that 4,000 becomes the support, then I need to be long, you know. I need to find the closest, largest number, and I have to ask myself, is that support or is that resistance? If it's resistance, we look for short trades, and if it's support, we need to look for long trades. Now, it's not a very good support at the moment. It's kind of wingling its way in there. We had a little bit of support in here, but now it looks a little bit more sensible in terms of the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and we'll look for some sort of thing. It may hold here, it may not, you know. You know, that's just the way it is, you know. I mean, as I mentioned this morning in the other video, this little section down here, when, you know, because at the moment here, it doesn't look too bad compared to if you couldn't see all of this and you're just looking at this. I mean, here, every man his dog was bearish, you know. Here we've got like half of the professionals are bullish and half of the professionals are bearish. But down here they were all sort of bearish down here, and we went through the same process down here in that we just, you know, we called a low in here. I'm not showing off, but we called a low in here, and then we just really waited to see if we could get support here. And this is a weekly chart, so it makes it a little bit hard to see what actually sort of the insides of it, so to speak. But you know, it took a while to get this here, but you can see, you know, this is a daily chart. It spiked up here a little bit. That's kind of where we are at the moment in a way. So, you know, it took a long time to get here, and you know, we had to be patient. There was a lot of pressure because, you know, everybody was screaming bear and all the rest of it. But we just methodically went through it, and you know, and I feel like that's what we're doing now. And sure, it may not find support and go down, but it's not a matter of like being bearish or bullish. It's a matter of gathering evidence and making decisions on that evidence. Now over here, I've got wave 1 and 2 here, but that doesn't make any difference. We could really have wave 1 here and 2 here, because when you think about it, if we just go back to Germany for a second, it's got 5 waves up here. So I'm looking for top. So I need an ABC pattern to pull back here. So I really need the S&P to come with me on this one. And this is not the only market, you know. I think I showed Rio this morning, you know, which is really, you know, Australia is so basically from the low here, the same October lows, we can count a very nice 5 waves up here, and I'm waiting for an ABC to come back again. So we can get this from iron ore and all those sort of things, you know, but the ASX is like this, the FTSE's like this, a lot of the European markets, I haven't looked at all of them, though. There's a lot that will be like this, but this pullback here kind of fascinates me a little bit in that, or how does that come about here? How do we get this here? What about if this is not 1 and 2 here, Pete, and 1 and 2 here, or 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and so on, moving up here? What it does do at the moment, though, it does give that nice, a bigger top there, a more serious top at this point. So we can work with that. We'll see, you know, it could be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and we kind of move up from that point. That's possible. But it's also possible to do something like this and move up. It's possible that this hit, we'll have a look at some bullish counts on this now, or bearish count rather. I've got one on the 10,000 here, which we haven't seen for a long time, which is this one. This would kind of, the reason I like this one for is because it would match it would help the DAX and the FTSE and the Australian markets have that pullback in here, you know. So this would still be up for wave one here or here. That's all sort of open to discussion. And then an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. And then moving up from that point. So this is quite a good scenario here. I mean, this can be counted in different ways. I can see that, and you know, I've got different counts, and I can see that other people have got different counts, and I think it's just better to say that this is really not that clear at this point in time, and you know, I need to really wait for this number here to become the support. Now I've got a count here where it's up for 1 here and back for 2 here, and up for 1 and back for 2 and up for 1 and back for 2, and we could just push up from that point. So we need to be looking to be long above that top. We could probably even go along above this top, but we'll talk about all that in a moment. It's the question is this 4,000, is that a tested support yet? You know, we had a situation here that, you know, that we went long on, and yeah, but now it's coming back and checking it again. So that's an issue. We've seen on the bearish side. Let's talk about the bearish side again for a moment. Let's just have a little look at this. I just also want to point out too that it's Tuesday today, but Wednesday on the 1st, we got the Feds talking down here, and we've got some jobless claims on Thursday and another employment situation over here on the Friday. So this is going to be, you know, create volatility in the market. So just be mindful of that. This is the triple Q here on the weekly chart. We can see nice volume last week, and we started this week coming down here. So it's kind of interesting really, because we've got from the lows here, we've got a nice push up here, then we've got increasing volume here, we've got decreasing volume here. It obviously pulled back down, had a correction here on lower volume, and then it's pushed up. So this is telling me that it's not strong volume to the upside, but it's also not weak as well. It's actually pulsing to the upside. So we'll just keep an eye on the volume. This is just on the triple Q, and that's not where I wanted to be. I wanted to have a look at the VIX, because it's this is a weekly chart, so I'll just go to the daily chart. So the VIX has jumped about 7 or 8%, which has helped that market push to the upside. So just had a bit of a look at this here. So on the daily chart here, I can see, for what it's worth anyway, that we've got 1 and 2 here. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, maybe the ABC for 4, or 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So a nice third wave, fourth wave, and the fifth wave is all a bit scrunchy with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 making a low here. So it looks like the VIX can push up from here, some volatility come in. That's what's sort of showing in the market. The other point that I wanted to make in terms of a bit of a, well, sort of bearish and bullish case is the US dollar, and I think it's good to just tune that in, because it has been helpful in the past. So this is the US dollar here, and so far I can count 3 waves down in terms of 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and I probably could get 5 waves if I squash it all up in here, but I didn't particularly want to do that. So I think this is the right count of 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave here, and then down for the fifth wave. Now, we did call a low in here, but it was just so messy in here. So I just need to talk about this a little bit. But what I'm sort of also thinking is that if I can just clear these up here for a moment, we're on the daily chart. We could still come down here a little bit down into the 100 here. This is a CFD product, but let's just assume for a moment that a low is in, right? And it would confirm that a low is in if the 102 made a tested support. Okay, we'll go in and have a look at that in a moment. But if we were coming back for this wave 4, it may come back to the wave 4 1 lesser degree, or it could be lower. Right, just the way it pans out, all the 38.2%. So, but if we're going to push up from here, then that's going to push the euro to the downside and the pound to the downside, and that will push the DAX down to the downside and the FTSE and the Australian markets and all the rest of it. So this a move up in the dollar here will put pressure on the S&P, I would imagine. So that can be that can be for a push down. Now, will the S&P make new lows, or will it just be, you know, something down lower, and then we'll have wave 5 down? And once we do get the wave 5 down, we'll have an ABC pattern after that, and then we'll have another big move down at that point. So it's kind of a bit of a rough trot here. This could just reflect back into not into all the indices, but certainly the S&P, because, you know, US is not really doing business with China at the moment, and the countries that are booming. And even though that China's not open fully yet from the COVID, but when they do open fully from the COVID, then you know, these countries like Australia will boom. You know, they'll, you know, and you'll see oil go up, and you'll see all these sorts of, you know, all these commodities continue to move up. But yeah, so this does represent that situation at that point. You know, if this, we'll go and have a look at this low here, and so it's on 2Ks, and so from this wave 4 over here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So it's nice and simple, easy peasy. And then 1 and 2 here. You could probably put 2 over here. And then we could have, I could have this wave 3 sitting over here. That's possible. If that wave 3 sits here, then I can have this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Don't go throwing stuff at me, folks, but that's possible. If that's not the case, then wave 3 would be here, and then we'd have to look at this as a triangle pattern over here, and then move down from that point. And if that moves down from here, then we're going to see the S&P move up from that point. Now, to help confirm this, whichever way it's going to go here, at that 102, we keep an eye on this. We'll need a pattern like this here, right? Some classic trading levels pattern to help with that. Don't need that. So yeah, just keep an eye, see if this becomes support. We'll be looking at that over the next day or two. So yeah, I mean, they're just some interesting things to consider. So yeah, this can pull down to the wave C of wave 2 here, and that would help, you know, the DAX pull back in an ABC and all of those sort of things, and then the whole world can go up from that point. Yes, I think it's, you know, as a bearish picture for the S&P, I can see this happening, right? But I don't kind of see the bigger bearish picture coming down here just yet. I don't see that at this point. So now that we've discussed this here being an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to this point, and we could see that the DAX needs to come down, the euro dollar needs to come down, not the euro dollar, the euro US, and all those type of markets. There's lots of them that are all in that bag, you know. So a move down here would help them with their ABC correction. So let's just cruise in now and have a look at the bullish count. So it's important to talk about the it's important to talk about the bullish count if the bearish count if we're going to be bullish in this market. So we've got, you know, we've got this count here, so we've got 1 and 2 here. Now, I know some folks are not happy with this ABC here being so short. I've seen that before, though. We can also put wave 1 over here. That also works as an ABC pattern here. That's in some stocks like Google. This move up here, look, to be honest, it could be counted in lots of different ways, you know, and I've seen a lot of good Elliott people, good Elliotticians, counted in different ways, and they're all, you know, they're all pretty much valid. And this is another way here to count this. So in this case, in this particular instance, this is very bullish, and we would just come down a little bit further, and we can take a look at that, and then we can move up from that point. Now that would take the fear away of being, because if we take this top out here, then that would take the fear of bearishness out for a little while as well. Because while this you know, if this did move up here and take that top out, we need to be long. We can also be long here as well. So in these cases, you know, it would be more comfortably being bullish, because this would be test. It would just come down and touch on that, because that from that low to that high, that's a 61.8%. So just touching on it nicely and moving and making new highs here, that would be a very comfortable support now for this market here, you know, for this. So that's that. We'll take a closer look at this little move in here in a moment. So I'll just go to the 10K ticks. I think that's where we had the, yeah, that's the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave down here for this. So that works. I don't know what I got on the 5K ticks. That's the same. It came down, it makes a nice ABC really here, because the A wave is sharp, the B wave is what it is, and the C wave is going, I don't really want to go home yet, you know. So it's sort of reluctantly moving down at this particular point, and we still have this as a nice support level here. So yeah, I'll just go to, or the 1000 is going to be the bearish count, but I think we just need to have a bit of a look at that. Or do we look at, oh, I've still got it as a bullish count, sorry about that, should have changed that. So into 100 ticks here. So let's just have a closer look at this. So this is a situation where we've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Now it's a little bit hopeful, I understand that, but well, let's see. So we've got a nice impulse wave here, that's no doubt about that, and we've got this move up here, pulling back up 50-60%, retesting supply. And then we've got this move down here. So this move from this low roughly to this high roughly, that gives us a 61%, just above the 4,000 area here. So we could put in the 50 and the 61.8%, but big numbers are like magnets, you know, they can drag it to it. So it's kind of interesting. I like the way that this is, you know, as a C wave, it's like a lazy C wave, as I call them, you know. I haven't figured out all of this just yet, so I've burnt up too much time as it is. A low could be in, or we're going to get another little move down here for this. I'll probably get another move down, because this is probably all the third wave in one way or another, because I don't really see the market. It hasn't really popped out of this trend here just yet. Do you know what I mean? Or I should really do it the other way. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So it's probably wave 4 over here somewhere, and then wave 5 down here for C or 2. So we'll just see, you know, we know that Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursdays are the swing days in the market, so we're just not going to do anything at this particular point in time. We can go long from this point. You could probably bring it down to here as well. But I'm thinking that we'll just see how things go over the next day or two, and see what the Feds have got to say for themselves tomorrow and so on. I have to resolve that. Okay, so that's the S&P, and that's the story about the bulls and the bears, really, with it all. This is the NASDAQ here. So it's interesting with the NASDAQ, it's taken out this top over here, the previous top, or has it really? Oh, not quite on that one, is it? But, well, splitting hairs there a little bit. But there's plenty of markets that have taken out this top here on the US side of the fence, you know. So if this was going to be bearish, in all fairness, this would be a nice count here, just be a simple A, B and C wave here. And based on that, we would just come down at that point. Now we could come down for an ABC pattern here and then move up, or we could be bearish and, you know, continue down here. There's no evidence of anything just yet about that, you know. So we just need to observe that. But looking at the DAX going up in 5 waves and the FTSE going up in 5 waves and a whole lot of other markets around the world doing that as well, then it kind of makes sense for this one to have an ABC pattern back here and then move up in that instance, you know. Anyway, this would be one bearish count at this point in time, and we'll need to watch it and keep an eye on it. And look, if we get a nice 5 waves down to here, we could look to short the retracement on this. I won't be fixed on being either side. I mean, as a trader, you don't want to you don't want to let your opinions get in the way too much. So on the bullish side, this would be one bullish picture here. So the same thing as the S&P, the A, the B, and the C wave coming down here. It's a bit of a long shot. We'll just see how that sort of plays out. It's really playing out across this number here at the moment. So I won't go any further than that at this point. I just want to monitor the whole situation for a couple of days. This is the Russell here on the daily chart. So we can also do the same here, of course, as well. We can look at this being the a simple A wave, B wave, and C wave up here, and then move down. We could also put it up here as 1 and 2, and that would bring us into what the Asian markets and the European markets are doing, and we could look for just an ABC to come back into this point here, and then move up from that point. So that's there as well. So which is right and which is wrong? This is the thing. I will just go off the basis I'll just check it out. I'll just wait here. Just wait. But if we get if we take the high and the low here, for example, let's just say that it's going to move down in line with other markets, then we'll just look for the 50-60% down here, and we'll just see if we get an ABC pattern. Because if we get an ABC pattern here like this, and this one here is in 5 waves, anything under that, then we can short it at that point. It's as simple as that. And then we can just go long at that point above the B wave. Now we can refine all of that and get in earlier and all the rest of it, but because we don't know what's going to happen, then we just have to wait for the market to give us some price action to work off. Now it's also possible, like I did with the S&P, that it can just come down here a little bit and push up from that point. So we need to be mindful of that as well. So we need to buy new highs, so to speak. I'll just check what I've done on the other things here. Okay, this is on the 20k, so this is the bullish count. So in this case, it can pull back into this. This is looking at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. So there's a good case for that. But I'm not going to do anything at this stage. I mean, it's giving us a nice little top here as a classic trading levels pattern. I want to see how that sort of plays out. I'll just go to the 5k tick and have a look. It's the same thing there. So we're getting that sort of ABC pattern. So just to let you know that that we need to be long above this one here. You could also go long above this one here with a small position. Okay, so we'll just see how it plays out. We've got a nice sort of round top sort of forming here, so the market's rebalancing. It doesn't mean that it's bearish at this particular point. I mean, the VIX jumping, and we'll see where the US dollar is. They can have, they'll have a certain impact on everything. And yes, it can come down further, but trading against the trend is also dangerous business as well, isn't it? So if we were going to be bearish in this would be wave 1 here and 2 here, and then 1 and 2, and then it'll be 3, 4, 5. So we could look for 1 and 2 and 3. So we'll bring that down here somewhere. That will be the C wave. Then there'll be wave 4, and then there'll be wave 5. So if we can get something like that, then that will go, okay, well, we've got 5 waves in the opposite direction of the trend. That means that we're going to get an ABC pattern over here. And then we're going to come down again. So if we get a clear 5 waves down here, then we can short the 50-60% retracement level in here, and then we can build in short positions all through here. I mean, this will just come down and bounce back again and go down, but all that type of stuff. So really, to be bearish, we need to wait for that. And even that we get 5 waves here, it doesn't mean that we're bearish for the short term. Yes, we can get an A and a B and a C down here. May turn into a 3rd wave. We don't know that either at that point. But we have to wait for certain things to come come into play, you know. So I'll just leave it. I'll leave the I'll leave the Russell at that. And this is the same for the Dow Jones. So I've got it all sort of two counts on this here. So first of all, we've got a bullish count with wave 1 and 2 here, and then we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and then I'm going to look at this 1 2 3 4 5 as wave 1 here, and then back for wave 2 here, and then we'll see if we actually push up from that point. If we don't push up from that point, then we'll have to look at this here as an A wave, a B wave, and then 1 2 3 4 5 in here for the C wave. So an A, B, C here for this, and we're staying below the top in that case. Obviously, this is the 34 is very important here, and it's very natural for the market to come up to a number like that because it's a Fibonacci number, you know, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, that sort of thing. So in geometry, it's important. So it's come up, it's hit it, it's come back, and it's come back up and tested it again. It's reacting from that, from the supply at this point. So it's just, this can certainly be still bullish at this point. It's not, yes, it can fail from here, but it's also doing all the bullish, the right things for the bullish thing. So we just need to be patient and allow that to play out at this particular point in time. Righty, so I will just leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see what happens over the next few sessions. Okay, cheers.